So this thing I told previously, that the enzymatic activity of HDL, when I am talking about the enzymatic activity of HDL, then there is two enzymatic activity. One is LCAT enzymatic activity and another one is your cholesterol ester transfer protein, cholesterol ester transfer protein, or CETP enzyme activity. Okay, so I already told that the LCAT, it is actually converting your amphipathic cholesterol or polar amphipathic cholesterol. Both cholesterol has polar end, non-polar end, hydrophobic and hydrophilic end. That's why this is called your amphipathic, your cholesterol, and this cholesterol is converted into your cholesterol ester, which is totally hydrophobic. Okay, and also I told about the CTP, that cholesterol ester transfer protein, is this enzyme is actually transferring your excessive cholesterol ester from your HDL to LDL. You can see here the HDL and ideal intermediate density lipoprotein and LDL, it's actually cholesterol ester coming from HDL with the help of the CETP enzyme, and TAG is coming from LDL to HDL with the help of the same enzyme. Okay, so this is the action of these two enzymes, but for the reverse cholesterol transport, this enzyme is now not it has no any role in this thing. The major enzyme responsible, or it has a dominating role in reverse cholesterol transport, it is your LCAT enzyme, lecithin cholesterol acyl transferase. When I am talking about the reverse cholesterol transport, first of all, I am talking once again about the LCAT enzyme. This LCAT enzyme, which is converting your cholesterol into cholesterol ester, this one. Okay, and I also told these things previously, that your apoA1 protein, apoprotein A1, this actually activates your LCAT enzyme. Okay, I also told this thing previously. And one new thing which I want to add here is the transporter, cholesterol or cholesterol ester transporter. I told here that in case of reverse cholesterol transport, that your cholesterol is transported from extrahepatic tissue to hepatic tissue, that means liver, from extrahepatic tissue to liver. And here you can see within your extrahepatic tissue there are various transporter. Okay, if I drawing this thing here, within your extrahepatic tissue, here you can see, yes, I am drawing this thing here. Let's imagine this is your extrahepatic tissue. I am writing EHT for extrahepatic tissue. It has various transporter. These transporters are actually transporting your cholesterol and cholesterol ester both. Okay, so these transporter are actually transporting cholesterol from extrahepatic tissue to your circulatory system in your blood. Okay, so these transporter are named your ABCA1 transporter, ABCG1 transporter, SRB1 transporter. Okay, so these three transporter are transport cholesterol and cholesterol ester from peripheral organ or extrahepatic tissue to HDL. I will discuss this thing in detail later also. So this transporter I am talking about, these three transporter, they are named your ABC A1 transporter. Let's imagine this is, next is ABC G1 transporter, and last one is your SRB1 transporter. Okay, so your these three transporter are transporting cholesterol and causes the external mobilization of cholesterol from extrahepatic tissue. Now what is this ABC? ABC is stands for your ATP binding cassette. ATP binding cassette. You can see this ATP binding cassette. This is your ABC. Now ABC ATP binding cassette A1 and ABC ATP binding cassette G1, both are the cholesterol transporter present on the extrahepatic tissue. And what is the SR? Your SR, it stands for your scavenger receptor. Scavenger receptor protein group B1. You can see this thing here. Okay, so this is your SRB1 protein. Okay, these proteins are actually cholesterol transporter. They are actually transporting cholesterol from extrahepatic tissue to HDL or high density lipoprotein, which is circulating within blood. So here you can see that the liver. Let's talk about the reverse cholesterol transport. When I'm talking about the reverse cholesterol transport, first this is liver, and you can see this is your intestine from where your HDL is synthesized. So first of all, your HDL is synthesized from your liver. You can see here is your liver and here is your intestine, and your HDL is synthesized from these two organs. And the just newly from HDL, which is coming from liver and intestine, is called your discoidal HDL. Discoidal HDL. What I am telling that the newly from HDL, it is called your discoidal HDL. Okay, why? Because I already told that in any lipoprotein there is a core and there is a periphery, hydrophilic periphery and hydrophobic core. In case of newly from HDL, the core is empty, or very little amount of hydrophobic substance are present within the core of this newly from HDL. Okay, so that's why this is flat disc like, but the periphery, it has the polar amphipathic hydrophilic substances. So the core is empty, or very less amount of hydrophobic substances are present in the core. That's why your newly from HDL is disc shape. And obviously I also told that your HDL, there is one enzymatic activity LCAT. Here you can see this enzymatic activity LCAT, and here you can see the ApoA1 protein attached with your HDL lipoprotein. Sorry. And another lipoproteins you can see also ApoC, ApoE. These all are attached with your HDL. This is your discoidal HDL. You can see here, this is your discoidal HDL with LCAT activity, with ApoA1 protein and ApoC, ApoE protein. Okay, so this is your newly from HDL. This is your newly from HDL. Okay, which is coming from your liver and your intestine. This newly from HDL, I told that this newly from HDL is discoidal, because why? Because its core is empty, or very less amount of hydrophobic substances are present in the core. So these things I already told, that the cholesterol and the phospholipid towards the periphery. Yes, towards the periphery, and the cholesterol ester, less amount of cholesterol ester, which is a hydrophobic substance, it is towards the core. So though there is less amount of cholesterol ester, that's why it is your disc like. Okay, so this is about your newly formed HDL. Now here you can see your ApoA1 protein. This is your ApoA1 protein, and this is your LCAT. I already told this ApoA1 protein is activating your LCAT enzyme. So your ApoA1 protein, which is attached with your high density lipoprotein, discoidal high density lipoprotein, which is discoidal high density lipoprotein. Here you can see the discoidal high density lipoprotein. Your ApoA1 is attached with your discoidal high density lipoprotein. Okay, this ApoA1 is activating the LCAT enzyme. So now your LCAT, it's activated by the ApoA1. Now what is the action of the LCAT? your LCAT is nothing converting your cholesterol into cholesterol ester. Okay, you can see this thing now. Now the cholesterol, where it is, what is the now source of the cholesterol? Which cholesterol is this one? The cholesterol which is present towards the periphery, towards the periphery of the high density lipoprotein. Its periphery content what? Cholesterol, 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 the amphipathic hydrophilic substance, and the core content less amount of cholesterol there. Now what happens after the activation of the LCAT enzyme? After the activation of the LCAT enzyme, when your LCAT enzyme is activated by your ApoA1 protein, then what is the next step? This LCAT enzyme is converting the peripheral cholesterol into cholesterol ester. This activated LCAT enzyme, which is activated by ApoA1 protein, is now converting your peripheral cholesterol into cholesterol ester. Now this cholesterol ester is hydrophobic substance. This cholesterol ester is mobilized toward the core of this HDL from periphery. So cholesterol, it was the polar substance. Okay, when LCAT is acting on this cholesterol is converted into your cholesterol ester. This cholesterol ester is not polar. This is your hydrophobic substance. Okay, and this cholesterol ester is now mobilized from the periphery of the HDL into the core of the HDL. Okay, so this is the action of the LCAT. Now what happens? The LCAT activates. Once again LCAT activated. Okay, LCAT enzyme is once again activated, and further the second molecule of cholesterol is converted into cholesterol ester and then moves towards the core, and then further LCAT activated, converting this cholesterol into cholesterol ester, and this cholesterol ester mobilized towards the core. That's how the core increases, the size of the core increases now. Why? Because the content of the cholesterol ester is increases within this HDL due to action of your LCAT enzyme. Okay, so I think you understand this thing here. So what I told, ApoA1, it activates LCAT converting your cholesterol to cholesterol ester. Which cholesterol? The cholesterol which is present on the peripheral cell of the HDL into cholesterol ester. Which cholesterol ester? The cholesterol ester which is present on the core. Okay. Okay, so this is the fact, and obviously this is the action of the LCAT enzyme. Now what happens? The LCAT is activated simultaneously. Okay, and it's converting your cholesterol into cholesterol ester, and the bulk of the core is now increases. The size of the core is now increases, and the periphery at the periphery level, what happens at the periphery? Here the cholesterol which was present previously is not now in this at this level. Now it is not present. So what happens here? This portion, you can see, once I am drawing at the periphery, you can see here what happens at the periphery. At this portion, the cholesterol is mobilized in the form of cholesterol ester towards the core. That's why there is a empty space is created. Here is also an empty space is created. These empty space are created within the periphery. Due to mobilization of the cholesterol from periphery to the core. These empty spaces are created. Okay, these empty spaces are called your lacuna. The empty spaces are called your lacuna. Why these empty spaces are created? Because previously the cholesterol which is present at this portion, now it is converted into cholesterol ester and it moves towards the core. Okay, that's why this lacuna is formed. These empty spaces are formed at the periphery level. It's called your lacuna. Okay, so here you can see the peripheral cholesterol is moving towards the core and increases the bulk of the core due to increases of the cholesterol ester content, and at the periphery due to deficiency of that cholesterol your lacuna is formed. Okay, and this structure, the discoidal structure of the HDL, is now converted into spherical structure. Spherical structure. Why? Because the core, the bulk of the core is increases and the disc shape HDL is now converted into spherical HDL, and first from this spherical HDL, from the discoidal HDL is called your spherical HDL3. Okay, so let's revise once again. Your liver and your intestine, they are synthesized your discoidal HDL. Why this is discoidal? Due to less amount of hydrophobic substances like cholesterol ester are present within the core. That's why this is discoidal. Now your LCAT is there, ApoE1 is also there. ApoE1 is activating your LCAT enzyme. Now if ApoE1 is activating your LCAT, then what happens? LCAT is converting the cholesterol into cholesterol ester. The cholesterol which is located peripheral at the periphery of the HDL is now moving towards the core of the HDL in the form of cholesterol ester. And when this cholesterol is moving towards the core of the discoidal HDL, it's forming a lacuna at the periphery of the discoidal HDL. Okay, and due to increases of the bulk of the core, what happens? Due to increases of the bulk of the core, your discoidal HDL is converted into spherical HDL, and this is called your HDL3. Okay, now I told you previously that this is your extrahepatic tissue. I told this thing previously, and also I told that extrahepatic tissue, it has 3 transporter for cholesterol. Okay, ABCA1, ABCG1 and SRB1. Here you can see this, I told previously. Okay, these things I told you just little before. Yes, here you can see about this thing. Okay, so now the initially what happens, your liver sending cholesterol to transferring cholesterol to extrahepatic tissue, and extrahepatic tissue stored this cholesterol. And now extrahepatic tissue is mobilized its stored cholesterol as well as your cholesterol ester through these 3 transporter, okay, into your the lacuna of HDL3. Okay, if it is cholesterol, then it forming the lacuna, filled the lacuna, and if it is cholesterol ester, then it is stored within the core. Okay, so that's how your cholesterol is mobilized from extrahepatic tissue to the high density lipoprotein 3. And now your HDL3 is converted into your spherical HDL2, high density lipoprotein 2. HDL3 nothing, it is increases in size. Once again, it core is increases, core bulk is increases, and HDL3 it is converted into spherical HDL2, and this spherical HDL2 is transported the cholesterol. This spherical HDL2 is transported the cholesterol to hepatic tissue or liver, and this cholesterol is now converted into the bile acids and excreted. Okay, So this is actually the reverse cholesterol transport. What is this reverse cholesterol transport? Reverse cholesterol transport is the transport of the cholesterol from extrahepatic tissue to liver through HDL. Okay, so this is your the cholesterol transport. Now here you can see the other fates of the HDL2. HDL2, it's giving cholesterol to the liver. This is one fate. HDL2, it's converted into HDL3, and then further conversion of the HDL3 to HDL2 takes place. I already told this thing that HDL, after receiving cholesterol from the peripheral tissue or extrahepatic tissue, converted into spherical HDL2. I told this thing. Okay, and also you can see in presence of some endothelial lipase, your HDL2, it's actually released its ApoA1. HDL2, it also has its ApoA1 protein, in presence of the endothelial lipase. HDL2, its release is ApoA1, and this ApoA1 is attached with little amount of cholesterol and phospholipid and converted into pre-beta HDL. This is the most potent HDL, is the pre-beta HDL. Pre-beta HDL, very less amount of lipid, poor lipid content. Okay, so this is about the reverse cholesterol transport. Let's summarize all the thing once again. What I told, this is your liver. Your liver is synthesized cholesterol and transported this into the extrahepatic tissue. Your liver also synthesized HDL. Not only liver, HDL is also synthesized from your intestine, and this HDL, which is synthesized initially, this is called your discoidal HDL, or newly formed HDL is discoidal in shape. This discoidal HDL has ApoA1 protein and LCAT protein. Not only ApoA1, there is also, you can see, the ApoC, ApoE. Okay, but these things are not necessary, not recorded in this discussion. Okay, here you can see the LCAT is activated by the action of the ApoA1. ApoA1 is activating your LCAT, and after activation of the LCAT is converting the cholesterol into cholesterol ester. Which cholesterol? The cholesterol which is present towards the periphery of the HDL, it's converted into cholesterol ester, and when it is converted into cholesterol ester, this cholesterol ester is transported to the core. And next, what happens? The discoidal HDL is converted into spherical HDL after accumulating or engulfing the more and more cholesterol ester and increases its bulk now, and then it is converted to spherical HDL3. Now this spherical HDL3, there is some lacuna due to the conversion of the cholesterol into cholesterol ester, and this lacuna are filled by the cholesterol coming from the extrahepatic tissue through these three transporters. So these three transporters are located at the extrahepatic tissue level. These three transporters are ABCA1. ABC stands for your ATP binding cassettes. Okay, and here I told these things or not? I hope I told these things here. Yes, ATP binding cassettes. You can see ABC is ATP binding cassettes, and SR is scavenger receptors. I told these things. Okay, so in this extrahepatic tissue there are three transporter: ABCA1, ABCG1, and B1 group of SR protein, scavenger receptor B1 group. Okay, these three are the transporter, and cholesterol is now coming into the lacuna of this HDL3, and this cholesterol is now converted into cholesterol ester with the help of LCAT, and further it is increases the bulk of the core, and now this is converted into your HDL2, and this HDL2, spherical HDL2, is sending, or it's giving back the cholesterol or mobilize the cholesterol further to the liver. So this is the cholesterol transport normal, and this pathway is actually your reverse cholesterol transport from this to this pathway. I think this things is clear for you. Now one thing about the LCAT enzyme, is the last coming cholesterol which is filling the lacuna is not converted into cholesterol ester. Okay, because why the cholesterol is converted into cholesterol ester in presence of LCAT enzyme. This LCAT enzyme is showing its end product inhibition phenomenon. Cholesterol ester which is forming after the ending of this reaction is inhibiting this LCAT enzyme. This is called your end product inhibition features or characteristics of enzyme. If LCAT is inhibited, then what happens? The cholesterol is now not converting into cholesterol ester. Okay. This is one thing about your LCAT enzyme. So this is, I think, all about the reverse cholesterol transport at this level.